Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we have actually this week was kind of a slow week, so I tried to pull together the best stories that I could. We were going to do this. This was going to be our reunion in person, but it didn't work out. So hopefully next week.
I don't have a car.
Yeah, he doesn't have a car right now. So hopefully next week we'll be able to actually do this, me and him here in person, and we'll be able to go back to our glory days when we were doing it in person, and it just felt more cohesive, you know.
Yes.
All right.
We didn't have different backgrounds.
Yeah, we didn't have different backgrounds. All right. So first story of the day. This is an article from Video Game Chronicle. Forget business sense. Sony's cross-gen Uturn is disappointing for PS5's potential. So I thought the title was kind of confusing when I read it, but Josie, you asked me about this in the week earlier in the week,
Yes.
and so why don't you explain to everyone? Actually, let me just read a few things, and then you can explain to people what's going on here.
Okay.
So last year, PlayStation architect Mark Cerny held a lengthy PS5 tech talk in which he explained why accommodating last-gen hard drives can sabotage the game that the developer is trying to create. And that's exactly why many users are disappointed by the news that Sony's upcoming blockbusters will target cross-gen releases. So, all
So
right.
what I can say here is that it was just released that Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon the Forbidden West,
Yes.
and the next God of War, Ragnarok, as well
Yes.
as Gran Turismo 7, will be cross-gen games. So they'll be available on the PlayStation 4 as well as the PlayStation 5. Now, this is upsetting to people that have migrated to the PlayStation 5 because they expected these to be exclusives to the PlayStation 5. And them being available on a previous platform, the PlayStation 4, will mean that undoubtedly it won't completely take advantage of the PlayStation 5 and what it can do because it needs to be available on both platforms and
Yes.
run practically the same,
Yeah.
uh, or at least be equivalent.
Yeah.
And this is really disheartening to PlayStation 5 owners because where are the exclusives?
Yeah.
What is going on with the PlayStation 5? Like just smacking down $500 during the pandemic was a tall order in and of itself. And I mean, even Sony itself is having a hard time meeting the demands
Let alone
of,
to
of people
get
that
it.
want that console. Yeah.
Yeah. Let alone to even be able to order it.
And this flies in the face of what Sony themselves have been stating this entire time. Jim Ryan has stated that, Sony believes in generations. So, in order to really embrace this current generation, we have to say goodbye to the previous one.
Yes.
And that just isn't the case with this move.
No.
Mike Cerny, who you just quoted, he had that lengthy PlayStation 5, what's it called? The the press junket for the PlayStation 5, and he stated about not being able to really accommodate for the PlayStation 1, 2, or 3,
Yeah.
and last gen hard drives, and like here we are accommodating for last gen, and this makes sense. This makes sense in a business sense
Yeah.
because the PlayStation 5 just doesn't have that install base that the PlayStation 4 has.
Yes.
We get that,
We get
but
it. We get it.
but in terms of really pushing for the PlayStation 5 and why you should own it, there's not a lot of reasons to own it aside from that it is practically a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yes.
PlayStation 4 PlayStation 4 Pro 2.0, if you will,
Yeah.
because it runs PlayStation 4 games incredibly well. Like I
Very well.
love playing my PlayStation 4 games on the PlayStation 5, but I've mostly spent my time on the PlayStation 5 playing PlayStation 4 games. Now that I think about it.
Yes. And I can say I have been collecting more PS4 games recently than I have PS5 games because there just aren't any. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
I
I
literally just bought Miles Morales or Spider-Man Miles Morales on sale because it was available on sale. But aside from that, that was a
yeah
launch title that that is also available on PlayStation 4 or Miles Morales isn't, right?
no not Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Um, the last PS5 game I got was limited
Returnal.
limited runs release of Terminator, which was
Oh,
a
that
PS4 game.
the multiplayer one?
No, the open world one. It's kind of like Fallout.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely something going on where they're afraid to make the jump to PS5, whether it's like you said a business decision because they know they're going to make more money because more people have a PS4, or it's a decision where they're afraid of the back because we got to keep in mind they do get backlash. They were getting a ton of backlash uh, for not supporting PS4 gen games initially because people couldn't get a PS5.
Yes.
So now they're in this weird space where they either have to decide to move forward ahead with the PS5 and do their best to increase the production of the PS5 and get it out to people.
Well, there's general limitations to production of any electronic product currently
Yes. Yeah.
because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that is that is not on Sony. That's definitely not on Sony.
That's not.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but the fact that it's just they're not really they did a strong push for the PlayStation 5. Maybe it came out too early.
It, that
I
might
think
be. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem is that they made a big push because they were currently on a timeline, and
Mhm.
the lasting effects of the pandemic weren't really there just yet.
Yeah.
Or nor was there, the time for how long it would last was variable, and
Yeah.
they couldn't account for that.
So
So yeah, it is a really weird location that they're in.
and you got to ask yourself like, what? Why isn't Xbox in this situation? Well, it's because they have Game Pass. You know what I mean? They can tell the players, look, I know we don't have the exclusives right now, but look at all these games we're giving you with just a simple subscription model, right?
Well, no, I wanna correct you for a second.
Okay.
What Xbox has done, I believe Phil Spencer, he did something that Jim Ryan and Sony did not do,
Mhm.
which was state very clearly at the beginning, for the first year or so, Xbox titles, there won't be anything really exclusive to the Xbox Series X. It will all be cross-generational titles that'll
Yeah.
work also on the Xbox One.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. They did tell
And
everyone.
that's a huge distinction.
Yeah. So I guess what you could say in this situation is that Sony just kind of hasn't been upfront about their plans.
Well, not
And,
just that, they haven't been upfront, nor but also they've walked back what they initially said, which was like, we're fucking moving with PlayStation 5 full steam ahead. That you got to get on this train, if not, you're gonna miss out.
yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
all these sweet games that are gonna be only on the PlayStation 5. I mean, and it's weird because we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming out shortly, which has content solely on the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that content doesn't need to be just on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that it's not a game. It's just it's an extra
It's
episode.
DLC. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's DLC that literally can be it should be available to PlayStation 4 owners.
Yeah. Yeah, it is confusing. It is confusing. Cuz you're seeing them do both, but you're seeing them doing it in the wrong way. Where you can make extra content cross-generational if the game is cross-generational and
Yeah.
you can promise your exclusives to be exclusives to your
Exactly.
new console, yeah. So, yeah, I get it. I get both sides here. I don't honestly. I don't know what the right answer is because, like I said, I know there's a bunch of people who can't get a PlayStation 5 and they want to play these games. But I also know that I'm buying PS4 games right now.
Yeah, I literally just bought 2 PS4 games recently.
When I should be buying PS5 games. So
No. The real answer is you should be buying Switch games.
true. Master Blaster 03 is about to release.
I never got into that series.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at it and I was like, dude, I played it on the original NES. I never beat it, obviously, because I was a kid. But, dude, the new ones look pretty damn fun, man. I got to be honest with you.
They look great. I mean, I've seen them. Don't get me wrong. It's just not the game that I enjoy playing.
Yeah. I'm cool with those retro style 2D platformers.
When you say it like that, it doesn't mean that I'm against 2D retro platformers.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that exact game I'm not interested in.
Yes, it is. It is a unique game. It is a very unique game. But anyways, yeah, I totally get it. The frustration here, and maybe.
I mean, do you feel frustrated at all as a PlayStation 5 owner? Like what do you understand where they're coming from, but like how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm maybe somebody else should own my PS5 right now. That's honestly how I feel.
Because you're not using it, are you?
Because I'm not using it, and I feel like I'm squandered it, and somebody else who really wanted it should have it right now. That's how I feel. So yeah, I'm kind of conflicted here, man. To be honest. So.
I'm pretty sure someone in the comments will ask for the PlayStation 5.
I know, right?
Yeah, give it to me. I'll make use of it.
Yeah. But that being said, I am still working on beating Returnal right now.
Okay.
Off and on, because it is
it's a demanding game.
It's a demanding game, very demanding, and unlike Dark Souls, where I can do a stint of like 3 to 4 hours and just kind of take out a boss and save it. Yes. You can't do that with this game. You gotta go all in. So I beat the first boss, and I'm in I can get to the second zone now.
Yes.
In the second zone, I really didn't find it that hard. I just died doing something stupid. But yeah, that's really the only game I'm playing on my PS5. Oh, and I actually, you know what? I'm lying. I did start playing Cyber Ninja last night.
What's that?
That's a 2D retro platformer. That's kind of like Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, did that come out on the Switch?
I think so. Yeah.
But you're playing on the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I'm playing on the PlayStation 5. It's
nice,
really fun right now. So
I'll need to check it out. I actually haven't seen too much of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I still want to get Katana Zero. There's like so many like ninja type. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them. The Messenger being one of them, but there's like there's an influx of these ninja type games, retro 2D platformers.
Yeah,
action
definitely.
Platformers.
Definitely. All right. Next up, we have Bloodstain Ritual of the Night is getting a sequel.
I'm excited.
This is something you and me were talking about. All right. So let's read the subtitle here, and let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Rumors of a possible sequel that surfaced in May were confirmed today. Okay, so it is confirmed. All right, good.
Yes.
All right, let's look at this. So the first game was a success, right? Would you call it that?
I mean, I thought so.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I am surprised that it got a 77% Metacritic review. I personally feel like it deserves a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it, especially since on the Switch it's not performing too well in terms of actual performance.
Okay. All right, let's read this real quick. So this is from their official Twitter. Regarding recent reports, 505 Games and Art Play Ian are in very early planning stages for a Bloodstain sequel. However, current development resources are focused on completing Bloodstain Ritual of the Night's upcoming content. We have a lot planned for you. So, so yeah, they're planning it out right now. So one thing about the first game I want to say is that they have been really good in continuing support for the game.
Oh yes.
They just released new content.
I still haven't played the Zangetsu mode.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Which is essentially like brings it back to like a 1980s game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's the classic mode.
Oh,
and then
classic mode. Okay.
Zangetsu mode is literally playing as the other character. There's a samurai who plays with the blade, and he is voiced by David Hayter.
Yes, that's it. That's what it was.
Solid Snake. And yeah, that's the character's name is Zangetsu.
And they also, what's it called? They also did a crossover. Oh, but it was
Crossover with Kingdom 2 Lands, I believe it's called.
yeah.
Two Kingdom 2 something. And it's called Deadlands, and Miriam makes an appearance in that. I actually downloaded the game because of that, but I actually haven't played it yet.
She also makes an appearance in what's that 2D game that's kind of like Dark Souls?
2D game that's kind of like Dark Souls?
Yeah, you have like a
Blasphemous?
Yeah, she also made a crossover in Blasphemous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap, I need to get to that.
Yeah.
I loved Blasphemous. I thought it was fantastic,
Yeah.
but I haven't played it. I haven't revisited it since I originally beat it. But no, that sounds awesome. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So they're like continuing to like drop, these like little bits of crossovers and new content for their player base. So
yeah.
So yeah, the fact that they're planning the next game should be exciting to everyone, and I feel like as a studio, they've built up a lot of goodwill with gamers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm still excited to get I haven't received my copy of Curse of the Moon 2.
Yes.
From Limited Run, so I would definitely love to play that. Like, I love the first Curse of the Moon. And Bloodstain Ritual of the Night, fantastic. Igavania game. So I'm really excited to see more.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Oh yeah, this one. Oh wait, there it is. But I can just pull it. So basically, Ratchet and Clank, which is pretty much the only new PS5 game coming out soon. They're getting a day one patch, which is going to give you a performance mode that allows the game to run at 60 frames per second with ray tracing enabled. So for everyone who wanted to like test out the PS5 and like really see like what the next gen, to see what this console has to offer as far as next gen goes, I would say that this would be the game for you to get, because it's going to be 60 frames per second, and it's going to offer ray tracing in 60 frames per second, which a lot of games don't unless you're on PC, and a lot of people can't even experience that because they can't buy a new graphics card because they're damn near impossible.
The shortage in general, and the demand is much higher than what they have in supply.
Yeah, so this will be literally my only way to play a new ray trace game is Ratchet and Clank.
Have you been trying to get a new graphics card?
Oh, dude, I'm signed up to so many mailing lists and can't get one.
Those never work.
Can't get one.
They always tell you too late. They're like, hey, guess what? This is on sale. And then by the time you read that sentence, it had already sold out gone. Like 10 minutes prior.
It's gone. So there you have it. I would say if you want to harness your PS5 and experience next gen, Ratchet and Clank is going to be the game for you to do it in. So
are you going to get day one, Mr. You should give your PS5 away?
Yeah, you know what? I really should think about that, because like I said, the only PS5 exclusive game that I played and really enjoyed and beat was Demon Souls.
Yes.
But like you and me said, that was a new coat of paint on a PS3 engine.
Did you play Astrobot?
Oh yeah, I did play Astrobot.
I
Yeah.
thought Astrobot was a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Granted, it's not the most demanding PS5 game, but the haptic feedback on it was pretty cool.
Yes. No, that's true. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
actually a pretty good game. So yeah, I'll debate Ratchet and Clank. I haven't really played Ratchet and Clank games, so
Neither have I.
yeah, but I do want to try ray tracing. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
Well, isn't it? It's on the Spider-Man game.
I don't have the new one. I don't have it, but you know what?
It's on sale.
Yeah. Okay. True that. True that. I'll look into that one.
It's
Is
not
it run at 60
$70.
frames?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
Cause dude, I have my PC rig
Yes.
has a 200 hertz monitor, so I can run games at 200 FPS if I want.
If you want.
If I
like
dude,
I like it.
it's
With
a
great power
weird
comes great responsibility.
It's a weird experience to say that because it's so smooth. You're like, what is going on here? But my TV only supports 60.
Wow, you should really throw that in the trash.
I know, right? It's actually it's a good 4K gaming monitor, very low lag. But like I said, I haven't really experienced ray tracing because I have a GTX 1070 Ti.
Wow, that's like
That's
a bajillion years ago.
I know, but it's still good, man. It's still good. It's just
I think I had one of those in my Pentium computer.
they're still pretty good. They can play almost everything.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But like, no, all these new graphics cards are just impossible to come by.
They're
just
impossible.
Like the PS5
You
and
can't
the
even
Xbox
get
Series X.
You can't even get this one, the 1070. You can't even get it. You know what I mean? You can't get anything. So, yeah.
My heart goes out to everyone that's still struggling to get one. I'm personally I took myself out of that market because I was just like, you know what, I will just have to wait.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. Ratchet and Clank, ray tracing at 60 frames per second. Definitely interested to see what it looks like. Although watching a YouTube video will not do that justice. Especially on a 1080p monitor. All right, next up. All right, so I'm not going to read this title because it's confusing, but
I was confused.
It's an article from Kotaku. Essentially, so for those of you who don't know, in 2018, CounterStrike GO released their game as free to play. And they gave a lot of features as a free-to-play game. And so here we go. Along with all the gameplay that we made available for free, new players had access to drops, ranks, skill groups, and a free path to prime matchmaking, which allows you to play, like, I guess, really serious players. Unfortunately, over time, those benefits have become an incentive for bad actors to hurt the experience of both new and existing players. So today we're revisiting the offering for new players. Nice. New players can still play every game mode, play on community servers, and play workshop maps. However, they will no longer receive XP, ranks, drops, or skill groups. Those features are now exclusively available for Prime status players. New players can still upgrade to Prime by purchasing the Prime status upgrade from the Steam store. However, there is no longer a free path to Prime, and if you purchase the upgrade in the next 2 weeks, your current skill group and XP progress will carry over. So apparently, so it sounds like surface level. it sounds like they're taking away from free players, right?
Yes.
But you got to keep in mind this game is pretty old at this point.
It doesn't
The
matter.
the original game came out several years before it was free to play.
Yes.
I actually bought the original game. So,
When?
man, I want to say maybe it was around 2016. It's been a while. It's been a while. Um, so, but this move is actually good for the community as a whole because what was happening was a lot of players that were good players were using the free to play. They were creating like trash characters to go in and just fuck up the serious games.
Mm.
And people were
Trolling.
mad.
They were trolling.
They were trolling. Whereas the people in the Prime, that was their main account. So they were playing serious. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now they're making it so that you can't just use throwaway counts to play in these serious matches. Because if you do, you're just going to throw away your money. So they're creating an incentive here to play well and to play the game as it was intended to be played. So
Gotcha.
this move makes sense, and hopefully the community enjoys this move, and the serious players can play the game more as it was intended to be. Because make no mistake, CounterStrike is
Not just as it was intended, but also as they want it, which is fair and free of cheats.
Yeah. Make no mistake, Counter-Strike is one of the most hardcore first-person shooters you will ever play. So that's who plays it. All right, next up. Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown won't be using rollback netcode. So for those that don't
Explain it to the people that don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Virtual Fighter 5 is an old game, okay? It came out... Dude, it's been... I think the first time I saw it played at a tournament was like 2013 or something, I want to say. So it's an old game. But it was also the last Virtual Fighter game in the franchise, right?
Okay.
And for those that don't know, Virtual Fighter is a very technical game. You can't just pick it up and mash and be good. You know what I mean? It has a very rigid, structured fighting game system with very specific mechanics designed for what they're used for. That's what they're used for. There is no comeback mechanic. You can't just get lucky off a read and win. If you're losing, and you're probably going to lose the match. So it favors very technical gameplay. So that being said, they released a new version of the game where they beefed up the graphics. They put it on PlayStation for free. You can get it for free. It launched this past week. And I haven't played it, but I have several friends who've played it. And the consensus is that the netcode is garbage.
Okay.
Now, the gold standard for net play these days is rollback. Because what rollback netcode does is it simulates the lag on both that the peer connections get. So the host hosts the game, right? And then the peer connects, and then they transmit data back and forth. The lag on the host end is always minimal when you're inputting your data because you're just inputting your data. It then has to route to the other peer. they get the lag, and then they route back their inputs, and then you get their lag. So they get your lag, you get their lag. What rollback does is it simulates the lag on both ends so that when
it cancels itself out.
it cancels itself out, exactly. It calculates the lag, and then when you get the inputs from the other player, they simulate as if they're just happening. So, for example, when you start the game doesn't start when it starts. It starts when the other player's input would then reach you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the gold standard. That's how fighting games have to be in 2021. So the fact that they released this game, which is a competitive fighter, which is designed for competitions and designed for competitive matches, with no rollback netcode, is kind of like a slap to the face for competitive gamers. And it just does not make sense. So that's the issue with this. And it's really disappointing to see that. It really is.
Did you download it? Because it was free, right?
Yeah, but I haven't played it yet. And the main reason is, once I heard it didn't have rollback netcode, I was like, I'm not interested anymore.
What's the point?
What's the point? I will play it offline. And I'm actually going to a local tournament next week. And I assume that we'll be playing that game. I will play it offline.
Cool.
But playing it online without rollback is it's just not the way things are done in 2021. You got to have net rollback. Once Street Fighter fixed their netcode, dude, it was like a whole new game. Like, people were playing from the United States, in Europe and Asia, and they were having like smooth matches because of rollback. You just can't do it without rollback. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. So I don't know. I hope they patch it and they upgrade it to include rollback. It's open source. You can fork it, and as long as you attribute the original, and you share whatever changes you made maybe to the community, I believe you can use it open source. A big studio might have to buy a license, but I mean, come on. It's got to be cheaper than creating a whole new system, right?
Yeah.
So definitely disappointing to see that they're not reading the room. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And look, Japanese developers, you got to use rollback in your fighting games because American indie studios all use rollback now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is it that them's fighting herds, which is a game about ponies fighting each other, has better netcode than a Sega studio game? That makes no sense. That should not be the case. So, yeah, there you have it. All right, next up. Yuji Naka is no longer working at Square Enix. This just came out. So, Balan Wonderland was a huge disappointment.
Balan Wonder World. I know everyone wants to say Balan Wonderland, but it's actually Wonder World.
Oh, shit, my bad.
No, you're good.
Balan Wonder World. I came up with a pun for it.
You probably came up with the pun for Wonderland, though.
Yeah, but all I would have to do is replace the land with the world. But yeah, I can't think of the pun right now. I was actually going to use it in the title of this video, but crap, I forgot. I should write that down.
Yeah, dude, next time.
So Balan Wonder World was supposedly going to be Yuji Naka's next masterpiece, but it just fell flat. The controls were stiff. The gameplay wasn't dynamic. the story was disjointed and not cohesive, and it was just incomplete. And so, because of that, he it was announced that he was leaving the company at the end of the month, April 30th, just a month after the game's release. And we don't know if it was they just didn't renew his contract, they fired him, uh, or he resigned. We don't know. But the other sad news is that he has recently come out and said he might be done with games forever. Um,
I mean, this was a pretty devastating blow.
yes, and it's devastating because not only is he a huge part of Sega's history. Yeah, but skills are perishable. You know what I mean? Skills are perishable, and game design and game development is a very perishable skill. And you know, how many times have we seen developers come out with a masterpiece and then even on their next attempt, it's just a flop. You know what I mean? And you know what they say when like a high level boxer loses a match?
What?
They're always like, "Oh, he's done. He's over the hill." I know it's dramatic and it's not it's not
Well,
always true.
the most, and I'm not in the fighting world at all.
Yeah.
Just like Geo is very much in that world. But the most high level part of that I've seen recently was Ronda Rousey
Yes.
when she was beaten by Cyborg.
No, well, she was beaten by Amanda Nunes,
Amanda Nunes,
who
isn't her
knocked
nickname?
out Cyborg.
Oh, okay, pardon.
Yeah, yeah.
And like they were like, she's done, it's over.
But it was true.
And and then she did like what was it, like a rematch? And that rematch was like, it barely lasted anything. She really was done.
Yeah, so she lost to who did she lose to? She lost to um Holly Holm. That's what it was. She got head kicked and knocked out by Holly Holm. Then she came back and fought Amanda Nunes and she got knocked out again.
Yeah.
And after the Holly Holm, they were like, "Is she done? Is she done?" I didn't say she was done after that. I thought she still had a lot to offer.
Well, that's just the like there was just a lot of press around it, and that's the only
Yes.
reason why I know. I don't really recall who she fought, but I just
Yeah.
know that there was a lot of press surrounding, like, oh, she lost, it's over.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying in
Yes.
terms of like, but in terms of game development, going back to what we were talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Yuji Naka has created recent hits.
No.
He,
No.
I mean, he kind of, and no offense, kind of peaked in the Saturn. He assisted, creating some amazing games.
Yeah.
He's assisted in the development of the Sonic games, Sonic Adventure games, some Dreamcast games. One notable Dreamcast game was Choo Choo Rocket.
Yes.
And
There was a
then
notable Wii game that he did also.
Road Day of the Sky Soldier.
Yes, that was actually the Wii version is good. The
Yeah.
Wii U version and the 3DS version were ported by somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't levy your criticism towards him on those games. You got to do it on the Wii version.
But even then, I would, and I hope this isn't something too dramatic to say or hyperbolic.
Yeah,
but
no, say what
but
you mean.
they weren't as highly regarded or seen as masterpieces compared to something like Nights into Dreams.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So and like he did, like the GameCube, he did Billy Hatcher.
Yeah.
And no one talks about. Granted, Billy Hatcher's a great game. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but no one speaks about it as fondly as something like a Mario game.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think like maybe the expectations on this game, Balan Wonderworld,
We're
were
too high.
kind of, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They grew out of proportion into something that once it became so high in its expectations, and then the demo came out and it just exploded.
Yeah.
Like that blowback was impossible to
Yes.
recover
Yes.
unless that game was just like the next new Knights that just became, an instant masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like I can't imagine what that would do to someone and
Yeah.
their love of making games.
Yeah.
And
Because
so if anything, my heart really goes out to Yuji Naka.
yeah. Um look, man, the guy actually programmed the original Sonic game, didn't he? So,
At the very least, he had a hand in it. I know he
yeah.
had his hand in Sonic 1 through 3
Yeah.
and
I think he
Sonic
was
CD.
yeah, I think he was an actual programmer at that time.
Mm.
Um but look, man, look, you know, we all know as you get older, your like I said, skills are perishable. But not only that, like just your energy level, your drive goes down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And games have become so complex now
So
that
demanding.
it's so demanding. It's not like creating a Sonic game. You know what I mean? Um, where you could definitely build a Sonic game now with a team of like probably one person if you were really good, but I would say probably a team of five could create a decent Sonic game. So maybe I don't know. I don't want to see him just throw in the towel, but maybe he has to shift his focus
Well, he
to
has
a
his own
scope.
development studio.
He has his own, but apparently it hasn't made a game in a long time. So,
The thing is that, and I mean, we've seen this recently with, I believe, Blizzard. I'm
mhm,
forgetting which company, but there's like a lot of employees that left. And notable ones.
mhm,
I'm forgetting the exact names, but they've left to create their own indie studios.
yeah,
And indie development may be the future of what will allow just games in general to flourish and
yeah,
progress in such a way that AAA games just aren't able to.
yes.
Because AAA games, you can't take those risks.
There, yeah, you can't take the risk as much, and they have to be they have to be almost formulaic to a degree.
Well, they tend to
Where,
be. They don't
yeah,
have to be, but they
yeah,
tend to be. Death
yeah.
Stranding is a good example of not having to be formulaic.
But like you and me said, that is a big budget indie game at its heart.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I don't want to see him retire. I want to see him try again, but I want to see him try in an environment that's more akin to where he's good at. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is a more smaller environment with a smaller team in a more singular gameplay focus. Which Sonic was go fast. Dynamic, go fast. That's what Sonic was. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we'll see. But yeah, I don't want to see him retire based on this because, like you said, it does kind of crush your confidence, and it does probably make him feel like he's worthless. You know what I mean? When he's not, the
Yes.
guy is
No,
still a
definitely.
legend.
He is a
You know what I
legend. Yeah,
mean?
no,
Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah.
nothing can take that away.
Nothing can take that away.
Even current failures or present failures won't take away his past successes
Exactly.
and the legacy that he's created.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up. So, artist says Capcom stole her photos for Resident Evil, Devil May Cry games, and lawsuit. So, this one, so I know there was one recently where a horror movie, like monster designer, said that Capcom stole his designs for Resident Evil 7 or 8.
Okay.
And a lot of people, including myself, dismissed him. But I don't think we should now. I think they should go back and review his case. Like, I think he should actually make a case now. Because this article here is damning against Capcom. And I'm going to show you why. So there's an artist, I think they have her name here. Oh yeah. Judy A. Jurasek. I don't know how to say that right.
Neither do I.
So she made a book called Surfaces, which is a collection of 1,200 photographs of textures that she created, and it was intended to be used as visual research for artists, architects, and designers. So there's nothing wrong with using her work for inspiration. The problem is that if you actually take a picture from her book and use it, you have to get a license from her. Okay? Because when a photographer takes an image and they publish it, they do have claim over it. Okay? Yes, Capcom could go to that location, take the picture themselves, and use that. That is legal, as far as I know. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
But you cannot use her photos. That is not legal. You can take your own, can't use hers. So these are examples in her lawsuit where, look at this. I showed you these already, but
Yep.
you can see the texture, and you can see how it lines up perfectly on the texture for the 4. This matches 100% here. Here, you can see the texture of this image. And you can see this texture matches up perfectly here in the Capcom one. And here, you can see this image she has. And it matches up perfectly on this book. So, this is her lawsuit. I mean, what do you think?
Did you see that at the bottom?
Let me see.
It says the story has been updated to include a statement from Capcom. What did Capcom say?
Let's see.
A Capcom representative told Polygon the company is aware of the lawsuit and has no further comment.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I didn't mention it.
Great statement.
Yeah, because they really had no statement.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you think? I mean, I think it looks pretty damn convincing that they used her work.
I do too. If anything, I'm actually really impressed, not only by her work, but her intimacy with her work, that she was able to even just be like, hey, look, this surface is being used as a texture on a logo.
Yeah.
I was just like that blows me away how closely that resembles her work, or the usage of her work.
Yeah.
So this looks pretty damning.
Yeah.
Companies are not above stealing other people's work. It's happened before. It'll happen again. The only thing we can hope for is that the people get their due when it needs to be given to them, and that companies do learn. But
Yeah.
there's a myriad number of reasons why these could have happened. I mean, it could have happened just as easily as someone being like, I'm the designer and I'm just gonna do this.
Yes.
And you know the higher ups don't know exactly what the designer did, and sometimes they're like, hey, you know what, I did enough that it changes the
transformative. It's a
Exactly.
transformative. Yeah.
Exactly. And that can be kind of a gray area, but it can be kind of black and white, kind of like that texture of the wood that you showed. Like that's literally just straight up lifted.
Yes.
So
yeah.
No.
So
I'm interested to see where this goes.
Me too. And I think we shouldn't, like, people dismiss the monster guys so quickly. You know what I mean? They were like, this is BS. But, like, honestly, like, how many monsters have you seen that's, like, a dude with a propeller on their face. I haven't seen many, you know, like, so yeah, this is definitely, I think, has traction. They would have to prove that they took a picture themselves and used it, that they didn't use hers, which we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the odds that a Capcom designer is going to find the location she took the picture, fly there, take their own picture and use it is like slim to none. So, yeah.
They just used her book as a reference guide to go to those locations.
Yeah. Which legally you can do.
True,
You know what I mean?
but
If you want to use a
but I was
picture,
saying that as a joke.
I know. But hey, who knows, man?
Fair.
All right, next up. Taito announces mini arcade cabinet with rotating screen and trackball controller. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Capcom one, or no, Namco, right?
What do you mean?
The
Namcot? What are you talking
damn
about?
it, let me look it up. I want to make sure. uh, oop, damn it.
The Namco Mini Arcade.
Yeah.
Don't you mean the Neo Geo?
No. Maybe it was yeah, maybe it was Capcom. I forget, man.
Capcom's releasing a Mini Arcade.
Yeah, so they. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's not theirs. Damn it. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab it right now. I have it over
Whoa.
here. Just give me 1
Well,
second.
you are going hardcore on this.
I know. All right, everyone, I'm back. Okay, so my bad. I was talking about this Sega. The Sega.
The Astro City Mini.
The Astro City Mini. So if you look at this design, right? This design is pretty cool, and I actually, when I got this, I played it for a good week. It played.
That week was obviously forgettable because you don't remember what it was called.
I know. There's too much stuff in my brain when I do these shows. So yeah, this thing is very well designed, right? I really like it. I actually bought the controller for it. So let's go back to the article. As you can see here, it looks almost identical to the design, doesn't it?
Yes.
Now, to be fair, these designs are based on the originals. So this is exactly what it looked like a long time ago. It was just much bigger. So they took it a step further and they made the screen rotatable so you can play shooters.
Like vertical shooters?
Vertical shooters, yeah. And they have a controller with a trackball and a dial. So for those of you that know, like the original Arkanoid games had a dial controller. So
Old AF.
yeah, so you could move the your little paddle to the sides. And then they have a joystick and a controller. I would not recommend buying these joysticks. They cost over $100. The controllers are good enough. But here are the games: Space Invaders, Lunar Rescue, Quicks, Elevator Action, Shack and Pop, Bubble Bobble, Rostan Saga, Rainbow Islands Extra, New Zealand Story, Don Dokodan, Violence Fight, Kadash. That's actually a really good one. Liquid Kids, Metal Black, Kaiser Knuckle, Strike Bowling. That might be where the ball one might be used. Arkanoid, Plump Pop, Civilian, Camel Tree, and Arkanoid Returns. So a lot of these games I've never played. I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm. No, not really.
Yeah. So this thing is going to retail for 170. The expansion controller is 110. That's insane. The extra arcade stick is 80. Okay, so the arcade stick is cheaper than the expansion controller, and the gamepad is $30. There's
Great.
also a $450 limited bundle that includes everything plus some extras like soundtrack CDs, and a $300 bundle that includes the arcade stick and the gamepad. So these things are very pricey. So what I would recommend is um, go and try these games out first. Like just download an emulator or find like a Taito collection on a console and play the games first. Make sure you like the games first. Because if you don't like the games, there's no point in buying these because they're so pricey. This one, I happen to like the games because Sega Astro City had really good games. This one actually has a really good version of Virtua Fighter on it that actually plays in 720p. Believe
Whoa,
it or
wait, whoa,
not.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Does it have rollback netcode?
No, it's only offline. Um, so yeah, this one actually has much better games than that one. Uh, but
Well, dang, dude, just sell it.
I know. But again, like if you didn't like these games, I wouldn't buy this because it's too pricey. We don't get
The Astro
them.
City?
Yeah, the Astro City was like 140. So we don't get these released in the U.S. So to import them here, you even have to pay markup. So I probably paid like 180 just to get it here. So
Dang.
they're very pricey. Don't get them unless you like the games. Now the Capcom one actually has really good games on it, but it only has like 8 games on it. You know what I mean? They could have put a lot more on there, but it does have a lot of Mega Man games in there. So yeah, these are cool. Um, they're really cool for collectors, but I'd like to see what hackers do because like the ability to like flip the screen into a vertical shooter screen
Yes.
is actually really freaking cool. Um,
Yes.
so I'd like to see some hackers maybe like hack into that one and then put like a bunch of like awesome, you know, cave games or something like that on it. Not, if it's strong enough to run them.
I was about to say.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't know, man. I think Arkanoid is where it's pushing its limit.
Yeah. Okay. So final story. My dog is actually crying right now. He's locked in a room.
Oh,
Well, he's not locked in a room. He's just in a room and he wants to come out.
you sound really abusive.
I know. I know. So final story before I let the little guy out. Uh, a deleted Nintendo floppy recovered 26 years later, full of Earthbound secrets. So we've talked about the Video Game History Foundation before. Great, great foundation. Their job is to preserve gaming history. A man by the name of where's his name? Um, Lin was it Lindblom? He was I guess a Marcus Lindblom. He was a original translator for Earthbound, which is Mother 3, right? Or Mother 2?
Yeah, I was about to say Mother 2.
Mother 2, which is a Japanese only RPG franchise. We didn't get him till later, so he helped.
Well, we got Earthbound on the Super Nintendo. That's the one we're talking about, right?
Yes, we're talking about Earthbound on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, yeah. The original wasn't released until the Wii U, or was it the Wii? Yeah, I think the Wii
The
U.
Wii
And
U,
then the third one hasn't been released and probably
no,
will never be released.
yeah. Um, so basically, this is Mother 2, and
Hmm.
he was one of the translators for this game, and all his work that he did was on this floppy, but he deleted it, and he put like another file on it, and he found the floppy, and he gave it to the Video Game History Foundation, and he was like, "Hey, look, this used to have my work, but I deleted it. Is there any way you can recover it?" And sure enough, they were able to recover it. And they made,
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. They made a video about it. You can actually go watch their video. I'm going to put a link to this article. And they show, how a lot of translations were taken out. And these are mock images that they came up with. But it kind of illustrates what this guy was doing. So yeah, a lot of work goes into just localizing a game. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
Um,
Especially when they have large scripts.
yeah. So yeah, you know, this I'm just glad that things like the Video Game History Foundation exist, and that people are. The more we credit them and the more we talk about them, the better, because guys like this will have it in the back of their head. You know what I mean? Like if they find something, they unearth something, they know who to give it to. You know what I mean? Like if I was to find something at like a swap meet or something that was like holy crap, this thing was a game that never came out, or I would give it to them most likely, because it's in good hands and they're gonna preserve it. So yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully next week we can do this
In person.
And yeah, I mean, do you have any closing words?
Nah, I wish everyone a nice week, and keep on gaming.
Yeah, keep on gaming, and we'll see you all next week.
Take care.
Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.